I was talking to an old friend last night, Marty, and he prefers to hear rather than read. So I said about the 11th night story that I would read it. So I'm reading it for him and anybody else that likes stories read. So the story is the 11th night. Amongst my first memories is summer 1974, just before I started school. I remember someone saying to me, "Are you looking forward to starting school?" I also remember the place. There were a set of steps at one end of the row of houses where I lived, the end towards the railway banks. When we're born, we begin life, but we don't have memories of it. So starting school was the first thing I recall. Such as the imprint that the year still starts for me in September. The school year marks the changing seasons as we take holidays as winter, spring and summer start and begin again just before autumn. We had 9 weeks of holidays in the summer, enough time to forget school and just be. At the end of June, excuse me, at the end of June, our summer holidays would begin, and then we would anticipate the 12th. The 12th meant that many of the factories closed for 2 weeks, what was referred to as the 12th fortnight, as people took their families on holidays. The 12th is a commemoration of the Battle of the Boyne, a battle fought near Drogheda in 1690 between William of Orange and James II. William won and preserved the Protestant throne. William was a member of the Dutch royal House of Orange. It is said that Orange society celebrated the victory a few years after the battle. By 1795, the organisation known as the Orange Order began. It arose out of different groupings, usually separated by affiliation, that arose at the time due to friction between the native Irish, who were usually Catholic and the planters who had come from Scotland and England and were usually Protestant. Over 200 years later, these Orange men, there are also Orange women, still commemorate the battle. It's only one day, but as a child growing up, local Orange halls were like community centres that would host events. Then there were the many bands in my town that supported the Orange men as they paraded. The 12th was a day we pulled all these parts of my community together. The bands practiced for the 12th and the Orange Order planned to deliver the parades. The 11th night, being the eve of the 12th, was when the bonfires would be lit. Again, many months of my childhood were spent at the bonfire site as we built a temporary hut to dwell in whilst we assembled the wood. Lundy was the effigy placed at the top of it and represented a traitor who led in the enemy at the siege of Derry in 1689. It seemed we almost centred our lives around this one day, perhaps as Christians celebrate Christmas Day or Easter Sunday. This day and the build-up to it told us who we were. We are the Protestant planters, and although others resented us, we were people who survived and would continue to survive. Indeed, the 12th psychologically reinforced our belief that we would survive. In the bonfire of the 11th night, we burnt our fears before marching out on the 12th. Perhaps in other parts of the world, it would just be seen as a pageant, but this was living history, and the survival was about remaining connected to William's throne. It continues to be resented by some, including some Protestants, but it remains. As a youngster and young teenager, I was fully immersed in it, although never an Orange man. As I became an older teenager and controversies occurred over where it could parade, I rebelled against it for being soft in its opposition. Like all teenagers, the rebellion was part of the journey to become me. I opened myself to new possibilities, and in the process I made peace with Catholics, Irish Catholics. I've lived in England for over 30 years and have not been to 12th and 39 years, yet here I am on the 11th night remembering it. I remembered it as it is part of who I am. I will watch an edited version of it on BBC iPlayer. If I go deep, there is something about survival and determination that I draw on in life. It is, as I've learned, a language that I can still understand and speak if I choose. So there's the story in word.